If you live in the San Diego community and probably the outskirts of, you have either at least heard of Mount Soledad or you have been there to visit. But we have the Vice President, Kendro, with us today to share more details that maybe you didn't know about this incredible memorial. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Hey, good morning.
Well, first, I want to ask about your background. I would love our viewers. We're going to talk about Mount Soledad quite a bit, but I want to hear more about your career in the military and as a pilot.
Well, it really feeds into what I love about the memorial as well. So I'm a 20-year Marine Corps veteran.
Thank you.
No, it's all good. You know, I was a pilot. I worked a lot with operations, both here and afar. Also did a lot of community relations here in San Diego. That's one thing that I'll tell you about that I've never seen across the planet is the fact of the way that our military, the Navy, the Coast Guard, the Marine Corps really bond with the community and work with the community. And so that really made me fall in love with San Diego, and really believe it's America's finest city.
It really is. I mean, we feel that because we live here, but for those who don't come here, you can feel the passion and the spirit for supporting our military veteran community in this town, and I think it's why I love it here as well. So tell me a little bit more. You know, you served the 20 years. You're now a commercial pilot, but talk to me a little bit about being a pilot and what you did in your training there.
You know, I was an attack aircraft, AV-8B Harrier, so the thing that hovers and it's kind of cool, makes all the noise at all the air shows, you know, famously made by Arnold Schwarzenegger in True Lies. You can't shoot like that, you can't fly like that, but at least it looked really cool. Although it was funny, a Marine Corps unit did do the flying for that movie. But that was fun. I was also an instructor pilot for a couple of aircraft, which was a lot of fun. But honestly, you know, one thing is, even though I was a pilot, the biggest thing about Marines is leading Marines. During the 2003 invasion, I had a company of almost 200 Marines and sailors that I took in and brought them all back safely. And so while flying was cool, leading Marines actually is always the best experience that any Marine will tell you they had.
The Marines that I meet are always so passionate about the brotherhood, and you guys really do all look out for each other, and I've never met a Marine that doesn't say he didn't love his time being in the Marines.
Well, I can't say that I'm going to say 100% of the time, because if they are, they're probably not, they're stretching a little bit. But you know, it is an amazing opportunity to learn a lot from your fellow brothers and sisters that are out there, to work with them, to challenge each other for that goal and that mission, and was just fortunate for about 20 years to be a part of that.
Well, now, after being a part of it, you love giving back to the community, and I know you're doing a lot. And as Vice President of Mount Soledad, I want to touch on that. How did you transition from, you know, stepping out, now you're a commercial pilot, to now what you're doing for the memorial? And let's talk about the memorial. So
one thing is, you know, the military is really good about leadership. We have both good leaders and bad leaders, but we're not really good about mentorship. When I got out of the Marine Corps, about the time I was getting out of the Marine Corps, I really found some awesome mentors that were out there. People like Eve Nasby was running around here. A guy named Neil O'Connell brought me on the board at Mount Soledad, and was just very fortunate that he said, hey, I know you got all this energy, bring in some youngsters to come in there and help get the place going. And I used to do a lot of event leading, so it was very beneficial to help out with events at Mount Soledad. And so that's how I got brought in there. Late 2014, early 2015 timeframe is when I came onto the board.
So people who haven't been there or have only visited that don't fully understand, I know there's a lot of incredible facts and history about Mount Soledad. I want to touch on that a little bit. It goes all the way back to what war? How far back does this memorial go?
So we actually have plaques covering everybody up to from the Revolutionary War up into the current conflicts on terrorism as well. But you know, one thing, the first thing I'll say is, every time we do a large event, if it's Memorial Day, if it's Veterans Day, Mark Bailey, who's just an amazing servant leader, he has people raise their hands. Who's never been to the memorial before? And we'll still see about a third of the crowd will say they've never been up there before.
Oh, I think that's great.
And I tell people constantly, I'm like, there's two ways to see San Diego. One is from Mount Soledad and looking over the Pacific Ocean. You can see all the way up to Catalina Island. You can see down to Mexico. And the other way is in an airplane with me flying biplanes sometimes. That's a whole separate story. But that's the first thing is it's amazing how many people that I've known that have lived here for decades have never been up there before. And, you know, if it's for the beautiful sights, if it's to see the plaque that are up there, the plaques that are up there, almost 5,200 plaques that are up there right now.
That's incredible.
We've got docents up there that are really ready to tell you about a story and the history about the different plaques, about the memorial. It's just easy any day of the week to go up there and just take in a beautiful sunrise, sunset, and just enjoy everything that's there.
One of the facts that I love that it's not just a memorial for just the fallen. There are a lot of plaques up there that are veterans that are still living and able to go up and see their own plaque.
That's true. We're the only memorial in the United States that's both honoring living and deceased. And so it's pretty amazing. The family can get one for their loved one. We do something called a Veterans Honor Ceremony. So what they'll do is they either surprise them or they can bring them up. And we'll have an entire ceremony about the plaque. We'll have some of our trustees up there. We'll do a little presentation for them. And, you know, we've had it where it's been a singular person. We've also had it where it might have been an entire squadron or entire association that's been been up there. But it's amazing the number of presidents are up there. I think we're like in 7 or 8 presidents now. The number of Medal of Honor winners. Audie Murphy, the most decorated Army soldiers up there. What the 2 newest plaques that we've had for our Memorial and Veterans Day event this year was Senior Chief Petty Officer Kenton Stacy. It was an amazing story about how many missions he did, and unfortunately was then severely wounded. And we were able to honor just not him, but him and his family. In the city of San Diego for Veterans Day, actually had it as Kenton and Lindsay Stacy Day as a proclamation, which I thought was very good to honor the spouses as well and the families. In Memorial Day, we had Dory Miller. Who was the first African-American sailor to win the Navy Cross. And there's still efforts out in the community right now to raise that to a Medal of Honor. And so it's been pretty cool to be a part of not just doing it here locally, but we're also working nationally to help out with Dory Miller's and his family's efforts to change it to a Medal of Honor.
So if our viewers are interested in saying, wait, I want to, get my loved one to have a plaque there, what is it you guys are looking for, and how do you guys decide who gets a plaque and how that works?
It's interesting because one of the things is people are like, well, it has to be a hero. It has to be somebody who did something valiant.
Right.
It has to be somebody that just honorably served. If they're today, or if it's today, or if it was in the past, and whatever it was. If they're living or they're deceased. And it's so easy because all I have to do is go to soledadmemorial.com. You search that in your website, it comes up. They contact the office. They get either a DD-214, which is evidence that they served, or maybe they get some pictures, or they get some other stuff or some data. Because a lot of time people are like, I don't have that DD-214. I don't know how to do this. Just give us what the facts are. Give us a name. We can probably research it for you to help you out. And then we help put a plaque together for you. And then the family's like, hey, it looks great. And then put it up there on the memorial.
That is so awesome, because there probably are families that, I don't know how to do that, or how do I find it? And here you guys are saying, hey, we're going to help you. Yeah. And I don't think that everybody realizes that this is almost, I'm going to say, a living and breathing memorial with real people behind it saying, we're really here to support you and being a part of this. And on the flip side, it is the people that support and fund this, am I right? Yeah,
there's a number of, we have some major donors, which we're absolutely fabulous about, because honestly, the memorial would not be able to be up there without them helping us. But yes, the plaques are a major portion of what we have to do to support the place. We've got placement right now for the current design for about 1,200 plaques left, and then we'll try to see if we can put some more walls in there. No, we just encourage people to come up and take a look, and then be like, you know what, I really like my father or my mother or my sister or brother to be up here, or couples. We've got couples that are up there as well that both served. Like my wife served in the Navy, I was in the Marine Corps. So or my grandfather was in the Navy. Like there's a whole thing. You get your family together somehow. It's just very easy, and whatever people want to do, we're here to help them to honor their loved ones.
I love it. It's such great information, and I don't think that a lot of our viewers maybe are aware of these beautiful details. And how else can we as a community support keeping Mount Soledad growing and continuing on?
I want you to come visit. That's all I want you to do. I just want to come up there. I mean, if you have to run from, like I used to run from Pacific Beach and run to the top of the hill and be like, wow, that was awesome, or bike up it, or drive up it, whatever you want to do, just come in and see us. I think that's one of the things, again, I just get surprised sometimes how many people in San Diego have never been up there. You probably don't want to do it during rush hour, try to avoid the traffic in La Jolla. But you know what? There's so much opportunities to come on a weekend, sunset, sunrise. I mean, clear days, like it's a beautiful day in sunny San Diego. And anytime, you just come up there and just enjoy the monument, enjoy the memorial, enjoy the scenery, maybe listen to some tales, and everybody's moved that goes up there.
Oh, it's fantastic. Thank you so much for your service in the military for us, and then now your service to this incredible piece of history that is still ongoing, and we really appreciate you being with us today.
Thanks so much.
So you heard from Phil. Make sure you go visit Mount Soledad. If you're coming into San Diego to visit, put it on your top list. If you already live here, go regularly. Go honor those. We'll be right back.